Today I'm going to be showing you how to use Zoom, the conferencing app for complete beginners, and we're starting right now. Hi guys, and welcome to the channel. My name is Olley. I make videos on running an online business and create videos every single week to help you do the same. Push! What even is Zoom? Video, telephony, and online chat services through a cloud-based peer-to-peer software platform, and is used for teleconferencing, telecommuting, distance education, and social relations. Founded by Eric Yuan. So he is now 50 years old and his net worth is $7.4 billion. A couple of ways that I use it before we progress into this. So I obviously run a online social media marketing agency. So I use it all the time, like before this whole quarantine thing came about and before it really shot into people's eyes and people started to become aware of what Zoom is. Essentially, if you've heard of Skype before or Microsoft Teams or anything like that, it's essentially the same sort of thing. The way that I use it within my business is I use it to speak with potential customers. I use it to speak with customers. I also use it to speak with team members. It's so simple that you can just send them a link. You haven't got to physically add them on like Skype or Microsoft Teams, I think it's called. What we're going to do is we're going to jump into the computer and I'm actually going to show you how to do it from start to finish. So if you've never used Zoom before, the first thing you want to do is go on to Google and literally just type in download Zoom. And obviously it's going to depend whether you're on Mac or your PC. It's also very, very important to know that you can download this onto your smartphone as well. There's been multiple times where I've scheduled a Zoom call or wanted to get onto a Zoom call and haven't been here in my office. So definitely worth considering. You can download it as a application on your phone as well. So when you get to this screen, obviously you want to decide what you want to download. Of course, basically all you need to download is the Zoom client for meetings. Download that and what you'll get is this app at the bottom of your screen. Obviously if you put it into your dock, I obviously use it on a day-to-day basis, so let's just cancel this. And you can see that the bottom one here is zoom.us. So click onto that and it's going to open everything up. It always goes to your like notification settings, so it will always say that Zoom wants to open this application and you'll have to open it. I've signed up via Facebook, which is also good, so you haven't got to create a separate account. You can literally just link your Facebook account to it, which is really handy when you think about it. So when you get into this sort of screen on Zoom, what you basically want to do first is go up to the top left hand corner and hit preferences. Now this is going to bring up obviously all of your preferences for you to start getting on your Zoom meetings or podcasts, whatever you're using Zoom for. So the first thing, of course, go on to general and just make sure that everything is is how you want it to be within this the settings period, right? So use dual monitors. Obviously I'm on a laptop, so I'm not going to need to use dual monitors. Enter full screen when starting or joining a meeting. That isn't necessarily something I like to do. It's actually quite annoying if you have that attached and you forget about it, especially if you're sending someone an invite link when you're just starting the Zoom call, right? So this is basically how I like to have it set up. You can also do this, copy invitation URL to clipboard once the meeting starts, and I should probably have that attached, to be fair. So what you want to do is obviously firstly make sure you attach all of the correct information on this point and then progress onto your video. You can see it's going to come to me here. You've got my FaceTime HD camera and you can see I can change it from original ratio to 16:9. You can do enable HD. Cool, I didn't actually know I could do that, so that's pretty good. And you can also do touch up my appearance. I honestly have never used these, so I'll put them on now and we'll probably do an update video in a week or so and we'll see if we can see the difference between the two. But honestly, I've never had that attached, and I record podcasts through here. I do all of my meetings through here, and I've never once had a complaint about the video quality. So something to know. You've then got all of this other stuff where it's meetings, so always display participant names in the videos. You don't need to do that, but I might as well check that on as well. Turn off video when joining a meeting. I would always say that just in case. You've probably seen some of the memes floating around at the moment with people using Zoom and they're like on the toilet or something. So I would always put turn off my video when I'm joining a meeting. That way you can double check that everything in your surrounding and within the video is obviously up to par before you turn your video on. So other than that, I think that's pretty much it. You've got display up to 49 participants per screen. So that is also the power of this, guys. Like if you run a big business and you have like meetings within your team and like you have a meeting room that needs to be able to fit 50 people, you could take that all online and have everyone comfortable within their own space when attending these meetings. So the next part you want to go on to is the audio, and you can actually test all of this stuff out. So we'll just do it as well. Perfect. Our output is working absolutely fine. You can also test the mic. You can see I've got my mic attached here, and you can see you can also use the built-in microphone if need be. Let's just put this desk up a little bit, put it in level. There we go. Cool. So I'm going to select my specific mic and we can test the mic, and you can see from the input level that it's already picking up this it's already picking up the sound that I'm putting through it. But let's just do it for the sake of the video. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Worked, perfect. Okay, cool. So you can obviously go through all of the other stuff. So join audio by computer when joining a meeting. Also going to go on to that. You can do mute microphone when joining a meeting. I'm also going to check that. All of that, like, you don't need to check all of this stuff, but if you are using Zoom for a specific reason, there might be some of that stuff that you need to select. So the chat, I don't need to change anything on this. I'm pretty aware of. Don't need to change any of that. Virtual background, I've seen a lot of people using these recently. I've never actually used one of the virtual backgrounds. Let's just do it for the joke of it now. Cool. Looks pretty decent. Obviously, I'm guessing if you had a green screen behind you, it would look a lot better. I personally would never use one of these virtual backgrounds out of just obviously wanting to be professional. And I've just seen at the bottom, sorry, you've got I have a green screen, so if you do have a green screen, it's obviously going to make it a lot more accurate. So the next one is recording. If you are aware of me, you know that I have a podcast which I solely record them all using Zoom. So this is a big point for me. At this point, you want to choose where to store your podcast episodes. So for me, you can see I've got it on my external hard drive, which is a great place for me to store my stuff, because of course you never know how long these are going to go on for. You never know how big the file size is, and you also never know how much space you've got on your actual laptop. So a couple of things on here that you could optimize it for a third-party video editor. I've never selected this on, I've never turned it on, and editing the files within a third-party video editor is absolutely fine without having this checked. If anyone's used this thing, feel free to put in the comments below. Let me know if there is a major difference. And the next part is advanced features. So this is where you can go into your actual account. So you can see that mine is a Facebook account. So if I go in to edit my profile, I'll be able to change my email address, my phone number, my display picture, and so on. The next one after that is statistics. So this is just going to show you about what Zoom is actually doing on your computer, so you can see the memory that I've got, the audio and the video, and also the screen sharing. So this will basically come up and it will show you like the frames per second for your screen sharing and stuff like that. But honestly, if you're just getting on this to one, record podcasts, or two, get on some online meetings with your team, then really don't worry about this. You've also got keyboard shortcuts. Same again, I've never used any of the keyboard shortcuts. Everything that you sort of need to do while you're on a Zoom call is available on the actual Zoom call, so don't worry too much about that. And the accessibility, you can also turn the size of the captions up and down. So what we're going to do for the point of this video is I'm actually going to get it up on my phone just so you can also see the phone side of things as well. And this is typically how I go about inviting someone into one of these conference calls. So all you basically want to do is hit new meeting, and you can see that you're going to get straight into this black screen, and it's going to have your display picture, and you can see it says my name at the bottom, Olley Thorpe. So now we've created our conference essentially, and we'd want to start then inviting in our relevant guests to the meeting. So what you do is just click in the bottom left hand corner where you've got invite, and you can copy the URL. So for this explanation, I'm just going to show you a couple of ways that you can distribute that, and that would be typically I reach out to people through Instagram or WhatsApp or email, and it's very simply that you just have to send this link. Okay, so what I'm going to do actually is I'm actually going to iMessage it to myself, because I'm going to show you why. But I've got my iMessage here, and we're just going to pull up my name here, and we're just going to send the link. This is all you need to send. Okay, so send that link over. The same again if you're talking to someone in like your Instagram DMs, for example. Vina, I just had Vina on a call here before. You could literally come into here and copy and paste and send the video here. So you could also use like WhatsApp web, for example, if you have someone on your WhatsApp and you need to send them across the invitation link. You could just go onto your WhatsApp through your desktop and actually send them the link like so. Just go onto your WhatsApp and just send them the link that way. Of course, it's simply a link, so you could send it via Facebook message, you could send it via email, you could send it, you could put up a YouTube video and say, okay, we're having a Zoom call next week on Wednesday, here's the Zoom link. It's very, very simple. That it's just a link, so whoever you send it to can access that Zoom call without needing some sort of big invitation per different account. I typically only have 1 or 2 people on each Zoom call, so for me it's very simple to just send that Zoom link when I'm on the call. When they actually come into the conference area, if you like, it will make a little ding, and you will see that the person has requested to come into the Zoom call. And Zoom have actually recently updated the fact that you need to accept everyone, whether you have a password or not. You will have to accept them coming into your Zoom conference, which is really good, because you've probably seen some of the videos recently of people like dropping into random Zoom calls. So that's obviously how you just create a Zoom call off the back. Very, very simple to do so. And one thing I'll also show you what you can do here as well, and this is something that I use it for pretty much every single day, is sharing the screen. So you can see that if I hit share at the bottom, I can then select my desktop to start sharing, and then the person that's on this call will be able to now see my screen, and they'll also be able to see a video and a picture of me. So this is really good if I wanted to teach this exact thing, how to use Zoom. Like obviously it wouldn't really make sense if I have to get them onto a Zoom call to then teach them how to use Zoom. If there was something along those lines, or something that I needed to teach someone how to do on a computer or a laptop, this way is so much easier, coming from a point of I've taught people how to do certain things on like a computer or a laptop, and they're like standing over your shoulder. I can tell you now that if you do it through a laptop like this, it's going to be so much easier, because obviously you've not got them peeking over your shoulder to see what you're doing, right? They can literally see it on their screen as you're doing it. With that being said, you can also record your screen, which if I just stop sharing my screen, you can see in the bottom right hand corner, you've got the record button going back to where we were setting where the recorded videos go to. That's how you do a normal Zoom call. There's also a chat option here, so if you have multiple people in your Zoom conference, you can also you can mute their mic, and you can stop their video, and you could say, like, obviously if you're teaching something, I like to use it for like online webinars when I'm teaching something to a group. So that way is really good for me, because they can watch what I'm doing, they can look at my screen, but I might not want them to have their video and their audio coming through, simply because who knows what's going on when they're on their laptop and they're watching something like that. So I basically make it a point that they need to mute their audio and to stop their video, and if they want to say anything throughout the time, just to drop a message on here, and then obviously I'm going to be able to see that. So let's end the meeting, and that's obviously how you do a normal meeting. You can then also do join, so you will also have a personal link name when you create a Zoom. I'll be honest, I've never used this way. I've never joined a meeting like so. I literally just click on the link that someone would send me if I'm being invited to one myself. So the next one is schedule. Schedule is something I use a lot, simply because if you're planning these out, like I said, you don't necessarily want to have to just copy the link URL every single time. So what you can do, if I know I'm on a podcast at, let's say, what's it today, 6 o'clock at the moment. So if I know that I'm going to be interviewing someone on a podcast at 7 p.m, what I could do is just come onto here and just go 1900. There you go, 1900 on the 29th of the 4th, and it's going to go on for 30 minutes, for example. It's going to be on the London time zone. It's not going to be a recurring meeting. We'll just leave all of this video off, because you can just turn that on when you actually get onto there. And also you've got this require meeting password. I typically like to turn that off because, you know, only someone that I've sent the link to is obviously going to get this link. So of course you can change the topic. So if I know that I'm interviewing Mark, for example, we'll just do Mark interview 7 p.m. and then you can schedule that. I'm going to hit schedule. It's going to ask you for your relevant email address. Perfect. And then that's going to actually schedule that into your diary, but it also comes onto here. So if you have a look on the right hand side, you can see this 1807 where it's got the time and the date, and you can see that I've now got Mark interview at 7 p.m. You can see that here. And then what you can do is you can click these three little dots. You can copy the invitation, and then we can do exactly what I said before. We can send that via WhatsApp, email, Facebook Messenger, wherever you're speaking to this person with. You can just send them the link and just say, look, here's the invite link for our call at 7 p.m. And that way it's obviously a little bit more automated. You're not rushing about to start the new meeting and then send them the link and then you're waiting for them. This way is a lot easier because, you know, it's going to be automated. People's going to have the link before you've even started the call. And obviously when it gets to 7 p.m, I can just hit start. Cool. So we're just going to exit back out of that. We're going to leave the meeting. And we will go on to the last thing, and that is obviously share the screen. We briefly went into it on the initial thing of starting a new meeting, but you can literally hit share screen, and if we just hit admin, you're then going to have this sharing key or meeting ID. So same again, I've never used it like this. I always just go for a normal meeting and then you can share your screen while you're in the meeting. But I'm guessing with that, you literally just can type in the other person's meeting ID and it's going to obviously bring up the screen share. So another thing to note is at the top you have these chats here. You can see that I've not even added anyone. I don't even know if you can add people. Recent. Cool. Okay, so maybe you can new chat or channel. Okay. Cool. Yeah, so you got contacts here and you can see that I've not got any contacts. But if there's someone that you regularly get on a Zoom call with, it may be worth adding them as a contact, because I'm guessing you can then literally just schedule in calls with people like so. And then the other one is meetings. So you can see on meetings here that I've got all of the upcoming meetings, and you can see that was actually today, that's already gone, and you got recorded. It's going to show you all of these recording ones as well. So yeah, hopefully that helped, guys. Zoom is becoming more and more popular on a day-to-day basis, mainly because of the quarantine. I've seen a lot of people doing quizzes and stuff like that on there, which is absolutely great. It's allowed people to obviously still have that, you know, that relationship and be able to physically see people, which is great. Obviously Zoom, you're allowed to have lots and lots and lots of people in there, so definitely vouch for Zoom, whether it's on a business side of thing or a personal side of things. I love it because of the screen sharing. I can literally share my screen, go over exactly what needs to be done, and obviously that person is going to be watching it as I'm doing it. So with that being said, I would recommend go ahead and check out this video if you're looking to start a podcast using Zoom. If you did enjoy the video, please go ahead, leave it a like, comment underneath, and of course hit that subscribe button. Peace.
fix.